Hey, big spenders. Not much to talk about this week. At least not that I can think of right now. That might be because I just woke up from a couch nap that I took on accident because I was awake for a few hours in the middle of the night last night. And ugh, some days unemployment is good. You can fall asleep on the couch and it's okay. And I definitely needed that. Anyway, I've had coffee and I'm somewhat awake now. Uh, and I realized, I don't remember what I talked about last week that much. I make a little outline of topics to hit, but I don't go into the details. I just ramble. If you thought this was more scripted, I apologize. That's kind of a you problem. But yeah, let's see. Well, I couldn't sleep last night. I started thinking a lot of trips get planned in the middle of the night when I can't sleep. And I've got my head wrapped around going to New Orleans for my birthday next month, and doing it like I did uh, last spring and road tripping it again so that I can hit the parts of the Blues Trail that I missed last time, which was quite a bit of it. Um, So yeah, I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to go about it. Um, but I do want to get a day in Memphis in there and then maybe drive to Jackson and take my time doing the stuff along the way. Spend a night in Jackson, do some Jackson things, finally go to Eudora Welty's house. Um, and go to New Orleans from there. My birthday's in the middle of the week, so it's not like my birthday's a big deal anyway. Especially because I'll most likely be hanging out solo. Oh, hey, I forgot to turn off my phone. Look at that. We don't need to answer that. It's not you. If you called me, I'd answer. Um, so yeah, I'm looking at New Orleans and getting excited and um because of having canceled my Monterey trip or postponed it rather a couple of weeks ago, I'm just really nervous um about finalizing anything. That's a me problem. So I'm still figuring some stuff out. Even though it's been 6 months now, the lack of employment still is, it's an obstacle. We're working on it. But yeah, I'm thinking, what do I want to do in New Orleans? I don't even feel like doing anything new. I just want to go and do my usual stuff. I want to go sit in City Park and eat beignets, and I want to see my friends. Um, One of my New Orleans friends recently lost his mother, and feeling the need to go have a toast with him. Uh, I need to go grocery shopping too. Every time I go to New Orleans, I like to do this in every city, but it's not always feasible. But when I go to New Orleans, I make sure I have a couple of hours clear at some point to hit one of the local grocery stores. And the one that I usually go to, I recently learned has some nefarious conservative ties that I'm not thrilled with. And I was hoping somebody on Threads would give me an alternative to try, and nobody ever gave me one. So I have to do some research on that. But I have this growing grocery list of things that I have to have from New Orleans that has happened because of making these grocery store visits every trip. I'm out. I did not buy enough Blue Plate mayonnaise to get through BLT season and tomato sandwich season. So I'm hurting. Yeah. I need to get mayo. I need to get Mayhaw jelly because I just ate the last of that. I need jambalaya mix. Yeah, I can make jambalaya from scratch, but there's a mix down there that's so good. And it's cheap. And I can taste it right now, and I wish I had another pack for dinner tonight. So yeah, I had to go to New Orleans because I need to go grocery shopping. That's perfectly reasonable. Uh, I also need to see if my friend Joel is free and I can add to the world's dumbest tramp stamp. Um, I hope he's free on my birthday or has an hour or so, hour or two. I like getting tattooed on my birthday. Done that a few times, and not a bad way to spend the day. Uh, yeah. So I'm looking at that. Trying to get over this little microphobia of planning a trip and having to cancel. Because that's stuck in my head now, but we'll work through it. I can't remember if I mentioned this last week. I probably did, except I can't remember exactly what day this happened. But I'm going to LA in 3 weeks, and I'm very happy about that. My friend Chip lives in Sacramento. He's a photographer. I know I've talked about him here. Uh, he has a piece in an exhibit at a gallery in Echo Park. And Chip and I have been friends for online for close to 20 years and have never met in person. He's one of my Wilco people. Anyway, he's going to be in LA for the opening. And so I arranged my trip around that so that I can go to the opening and I can meet him and his wife. Super excited about that. I get to see my LA people, which always makes me happy. And Sean Brock, who is one of my favorite chefs, just opened a restaurant in LA called Darling. It's his first restaurant outside of the South, I think. And it's not Southern cuisine. The photos from the opening this weekend looked incredible and intimidating. It's yeah, a beautiful upscale restaurant in West Hollywood, and it will have been open less than a month when I go. I have a reservation, just me. So I realized that my phobia of finer dining in LA runs a little deeper than I thought, because looking at those photos, I had oh God, I am not going to fit in here. Um, but it'll be fine. It'll be fantastic. The room is beautiful. It's a vinyl listening lounge, so the music is going to be incredible, and the food looks just phenomenal. So I just need to get over myself and go have a good time. And I will. I will, but I'm going to grouse about it in the meantime. Because that's what I do. Um, yeah, I rescheduled my Monterey trip. I think I told you that last time. This Monterey is going to happen in November, which is a good time for that. I'm trying to figure out, um, I wrote, oh, blah, blah. I wrote the other day about Kansas City and maybe spending my birthday doing, um, the little semester tradition I do with CJ, where we spend a weekend and we go to Lawrence, Kansas, and spend time at this awesome spa. And I was looking, and the week of my birthday is CJ's midterm week. So, I mean, it would be perfect for that. But it's homecoming weekend at KU, which is in Lawrence. So we will not be going for my birthday. So I think I'll have to see about squeezing that in sometime between. Hey, maybe we'll do Halloween. I don't know. Yeah, I got to squeeze that in sometime between the New Orleans trip and the Monterey trip. Although last year we did it late in the year. I went the last couple of days of the before Thanksgiving break, and it was great. It worked out great. So yeah, I don't need to hurry that. But I'm already looking forward to seeing my kid, even though they've barely been gone. I put in notes like I'm feeling the need to talk about Chicago with the possibility of the National Guard being sent. I haven't talked about Chicago much on the blog at all, even though it's one of my favorite cities. I haven't been, and this is bizarre, I have not been to Chicago in over a year. And that's very unusual. Because Chicago is less than a 5 hour drive for me. And it's super easy to get there. It's fast, and it's one of the greatest cities in the world. And it's almost in my backyard. I go quite a bit. Uh, but yeah, I haven't been in a while, and feeling a lot of Chicago solidarity with the bullshit that's happening and that's being said. And it's worth saying I have made many, many trips to Chicago. I've had many late nights in Chicago. I've had many late nights by myself navigating through Chicago. Number of crimes perpetrated against me in Chicago, zero. Zero. Yeah. It's kind of like St. Louis. Everybody think, well, St. Louis and Chicago have a lot of similarities. And we could get into where the crime is happening and the reasons why, which we all know what it is. I have a friend in Washington, D.C., who lives in his neighborhood is like top ranked for crime in D.C., and he works at the Library of Congress. And we were talking recently, and he's like, guess how many times I've seen the National Guard in my neighborhood? None. Guess how many times I've seen them at work? It's all for show. It's a dangerous show, and it's stealing resources from cities and from people, and it's stealing their time, and I'm just feeling the need to be in Chicago. It's not going to happen for a bit because I can only do so much travel and so much time, and I'm getting myself pretty well booked. But, I'm going to LA and the National Guard is out there, and it doesn't faze me. Going out there feels like something I need to do as an act of resistance. And I'm feeling very much the same way with Chicago. I want to go be in solidarity with my Chicago friends and with the city that I love. And I'm just pissed off right now. I watched the survivors press conference this morning before I fell asleep on the couch, and I'm fired up for a lot of reasons. But I don't like things that are just frivolous, that don't make an impact on a bigger level, because I think even the smallest things we do have an impact, or can. And that's something I always try to keep in mind when I'm traveling and when I'm planning travel is, what does this mean? What does it mean to go to Chicago right now with the National Guard possibly coming in at any moment? What does it mean to go to LA while it's occupied by the National Guard? I went to LA during the fires back in January. And it was because I felt the need. I planned the trip after the fires started. It wasn't I have this trip and this is happening. It was, I feel the need to be there. And I found some volunteer opportunities and did that and spent some money, which, always helpful for the economy. But um, I feel like right now, getting out of my comfort zone, getting out of being on the sidelines is more important than ever. And a lot of people have talked about, joy as an act of resistance. And I get some of that with travel. That yeah, I'm gonna go to New Orleans. I'm gonna go to Chicago. I'm gonna go to Los Angeles, regardless of what is happening. And if there's a fight, I'm gonna be a part of the fight. And if not, I can say, hey, I was in LA when this was happening, and this is what I saw, and this is how it differs from what we're hearing. Um, just in my little corner. So I'm keeping that in mind too. So I don't know. I'm one of the few weirdos who loves Chicago in winter. Maybe I'll hop up there in December for a long weekend. I don't know. We'll see. And that's enough from my sleepy ass today. I have stuff I should be doing. I'm supposed to be shopping for a new doctor right now, and my phone is ringing again. It's nobody who needs to talk to me. I only answer that if it's my kid, and my kid does not call. They text. In fact, they don't even text that much right now. I need to see how their classes are going. I'm going to go do that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support, as always. It's much appreciated. And thank you. I have a new paid subscriber, my friend Mark, who I know from Woody Guthrie stuff. I am working on the book, I swear. I did a bunch of work on it yesterday. That's one more thing. As many of you know, I've been working on a book about Woody Guthrie for a long time. Turns out book writing is slow and it's hard, but I'm getting towards the end. And I didn't put this in my notes, but it's like, oh, make a mental note, say it. Why? I don't know why I didn't write it down. I've been rewriting my manuscript for a few months, and I'm finally getting towards the end, which is when I tend to start dragging ass. And I'm not going to do that this time. I've set a deadline for myself. While I'm in LA, I have 2 Zoom meetings with literary agents who are on the East Coast. So that's a whole thing. But, it's the day that they were available, and it's fine. I'm going to get up early. Oh, excuse me. Early in the morning and have these meetings with literary agents. And I'd like to have my full manuscript. I have hiccups finished. And maybe even my book proposal. If you don't get enough of my writing, or of me, as it is, and you need a little more in your life, I'm always looking. Actually, this might be one of the last calls I put out, because I'm going to start moving into business mode and out of writer mode on this book very soon, in the next month or so. I would still love to have as many eyes on my manuscript as possible. And any feedback people can give is invaluable. It's what keeps me going. If you would like to read the manuscript, let me know, and I will send you a copy, or send you access to the copy of it as I'm working on it. And it's all about travel too. So there's that. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. Sleepyhead's gonna go find a doctor. Love y'all. Bye.